ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
I like this show, and I'm not going to be sorry.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review wave on the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 Colossus Build-A-Figures, Magneto, Rogue, Cyclops, Sabertooth, Iceman, Shadowcat, and Legion. Trying to pick up your Marvel Legends, you can do so at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Alright, down there I ask you to please hit that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And I usually don't like to group my Marvel Legends reviews all in one like this, but it has been out for a while and I really wanted to get to this wave. So you can see we have nice artwork right here, I believe all by David Nakayama, looking very, very dope. I really do like it. And then on the back of the packaging, you get the same artwork just zoomed out, so you get the full image of each of these. Not looking too bad. If you want to check out the read-up on Magneto, there it is. Pause it right now. There's a read-up on Rogue. There's a read-up on Cyclops. There's a read-up on Sabertooth. There's a read-up on Iceman. There's a read-up on Shadowcat. There's a read-up on Legion. And then you can see all the figures right here. Build of the Colossus. And then on this side of the packaging, you get the same images. And then on the top, you get a nice spot varnished Age of Apocalypse logo. Not much more at the bottom of these. So let's get to it and crack these things open. And here's all the figures out of the packaging with the Build-A-Figure Colossus already built. Magneto's the only one that does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece, but we get Build-A-Figure pieces with all the other figures. But anyway, first let's get a closer look at all the accessories, and then we'll get a closer look at each of the figures. So with the exception of Cyclops, all the figures come with 2 sets of interchangeable hands. Rogue comes with fist hands, wide open hands. Iceman comes with these hands that we'd seen before with the previous Iceman figure, but we get these new hands, which I think we've seen on another figure before. Carnage hands. That's where I saw these hands before. You get a wide open hand and then a flat hand for Kitty Pryde. And then you get these talons over here, which look pretty sweet. For Magneto, you get fisted hands, wide open hands. You get these purple effects that we've seen many times before. Sabertooth has a fisted hand, open hand for holding a chain. Then Colossus has the wide open hands and the fisted hands. And it's worth noting when you're popping the hands off the Rogue figure, you don't want these little bands to come off or anything. So just be wary of that. But, you know, they don't fall off as easy as some of the other figures I've seen that have this kind of thing. And then to look at some of the Kitty Pryde claws right here, not looking too bad, a little bit on the warped side, but you can see, you just port that on like so, then go ahead and just port on a fist. Then she has, again, these retracted versions right over here, which is neat to have, so you don't have to have the claws out the whole time. And then it's worth noting that the Colossus hands are different from what we'd seen before. These are the previous Colossus hands, so yeah, not the same exact Colossus. Or is it, but just upscaled, right? They look strikingly similar. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that Magneto and Sabertooth both come with interchangeable heads, which I'll show off. Of course, for Sabertooth, I actually have to show this off real quick because I have the chain from Wild Child over here and just have to see how that fits around. So maybe I could have put the chain on first, and then it feels like this is supposed to go through the hand right over here. And while a little tricky weaving that through, yeah, he hangs on to it pretty well. That is pretty sweet. All right, not looking too bad at all. I like that. That is awesome. Sick. So we have a lot of figures to look at. I'm not going to do thorough bios on each of them, just my impressions of each of these characters from this alternate reality where Professor X is dead. Cyclops is a bad guy working for Mr. Sinister, and he later on betrays his brother, Alex, of course, and then fights against Beast and helps Jean Grey and the X-Men, and I think this head sculpt looks really cool. I do like it. He is missing an eye from Wolverine, so I thought that was pretty neat that that was written into the story. A little bit of marbling right here on the gold plastic, just a tiny bit. The red paint looks pretty clean right over there. I like the facial expression. The hair is very well sculpted. I wish there was some color variation in it, but anyway, looking at the rest of the figure, we're looking at some new arms on this Bucky cap mold. So you can see the nice pinless joints right over there, or new arms for this Bucky cap mold anyway. Then you have some slashes and everything. I do like that battle damage on his armor. The torso we've seen before. You get this new belt piece, and this looks really dope. Like that a lot, along with this whole gold piece right here. Again, pinless joints joints and everything. The back of the hand looks really good right there. Then the rest of the figure is fairly bland. You just have your Bucky Cap legs and everything, and your Bucky Cap butt hole peg right over there, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So in this review, some of the figures will get a little bit more thorough articulation segments than others. For instance, Psych over here, a bit less thorough. We are all very familiar with that Bucky Cap mold, aren't we? We very much are. Anyway, you can move the head up that far. So with all that hair, he still looks up just a little bit, which is cool. The head will move down that much. You do get side-to-side motion and no real head pivoting. These new arms do look a bit short, though. I'm really noticing that now as it's farther away, right? Very short arms, but yeah, they move outward almost at the 90-degree mark. They do move inward that far. They rotate at a full 360 without having this in the way. You get bicep swivel, and then both arms have the double-jointed elbows, but his arms really only bend in at around 90 degrees, and then both hands swivel side to side, and on this side it'll hinge down, not really back so much. This one will move back a little bit more so. So Iceman's fairly overpowered in Astonishing X-Men, if I remember correctly. He helps Pietro, and he's part of the Astonishing X-Men team under Rogue and Magneto, and I just think he was pretty cool, but I don't remember him that much from the story, but I really like how this figure came out. I love the frosted white paint over here. That looks so freaking sick. The white eyes for the paint applications looks really good. Really digging this a lot, man. You don't see, white paint on the very, very tips of all of these, which looks a little bit weird, but it doesn't bother me that much. You have this piece on the back right here, which I started to peel off a little bit, and I was like, I don't want to keep going with that, so I'm going to leave that there. This torso right here is really cool. I love the translucent plastic throughout on this thing. It looks dope with the frosty white over it and everything. Man, very, very impressive. The chiseled nature of this sculpt and all these right angles over here just looks really good. These arms we've seen before, or no, this shoulder is different, but the lower half of the arm is from the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Iceman, and same thing with the other side, and these hands, and then the legs are the same as from the Iceman figure. The upper torso is different, though, but yeah, the legs are the same, just different color, and they've added the frosty white over here, which just looks really awesome. I really like how this figure came out. Still get peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and there's the back of the figure. So we're all mostly familiar with the limbs on this Iceman figure. With the new head and torso, you can see that the head will move up that far, and it will move downward that much. You get side-to-side motion, no real head pivoting. Shoulders will move outward very far, which is great, and you can move them inward that far. They rotate a full 360. You get the bicep swivel and the double-jointed elbows, and yeah, the wrists turn side to side, and they hinge up and down, but you can see the ab crunch right here is a new piece, and that moves forward and back very well, and you do get the waist cut. So here's a look at Rogue, and this is a very different Rogue from our 616. This Rogue is second in command from Magneto. She definitely has much more of a leadership role in these books, and she's just a stronger character, and I really like Rogue from Age of Apocalypse. The design is a little funny looking, but I still kind of like it, I definitely like, the Jim Lee style Rogue more than anything else, but I think this looks really cool. It's fun having a Rogue figure with no hair in the back, so you can get her into, really good flying poses with her head looking all the way up. You can see the collar right over there. It looks pretty good with the silver paint applications. I do like that. She has a peg hole right over here. We have these new arms that we will see get reused on Kitty Pryde, and you can see the wide open hands right over here. Unless they came with another figure, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll leave an annotation if that's so. But the paint looks really clean right over here. I do like that, and yeah, the deco looks really clean actually throughout on the whole figure. And then we get the new pinless legs, which I really dig having. That looks fantastic. Keep in mind that this will move around on you, so I did take a few pictures where that drooped down, and I was like, oh, I gotta take the pictures again because that's fallen over. A little bit of a nick right over there. That wasn't me. And then the red looks pretty good on the boots, and yeah, she does have the oversized boots over here, but that's how it was designed. And you can see she has treads right here as well as peg holes at the bottom of the feet. These thighs are technically from Shriek, but the Rogue figure did come first, so I guess Shriek's thighs came from Rogue. Oh yeah, there was a part in the books where she had a cape, so I don't know if you want to look for a blue cape you could put on her, but I think she's fine like this. You get the ball joint with the hinge where she could look all the way up, which is awesome, and then you can get the head to move all the way down, shifts forward and back like a pile driver, side to side motion, and head pivoting. I gotta say, in some positions it does look a little bit weird, but mostly I'm very happy with that. Shoulders move outward that far, inward very far, rotate a full 360, no bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, and she meets at around the 90-degree mark with those, and they rotate side to side. and the wrist turns side to side and they hinge up and down. You get the diaphragm joint right there, pivots, moves forward, back, and then you get the hips that move outward, and then she can kick forward that far, back a bit. You get the upper thigh cut. You get the pinless double jointed knees, which is really cool to see, more pinless joints over here. And then the boots just move down at the ankle, they move up some, and she has beautiful ankle pivot. Son of Charles Xavier, Legion over here has an incredible power set aside from telepathy and telekinesis and teleportation. He can also change reality and travel through dimensions, and he is the cause of this whole Age of Apocalypse storyline with him wanting to kill Magneto, but through the whole process, we ended up losing Charles Xavier instead, causing this whole Age of Apocalypse storyline. And I gotta say, I love this head sculpt over here. This looks great. I love how the eyes came out over here. Would have been nice to get an extra alternate head with, you know, I don't know, maybe kind of like a screaming face or something. But man, this exaggerated flat top over here looks great. I really love the sculpt of this. That is awesome. So really good job on that. I'm really liking the body over here, especially with all the new sculpted goodies over here, looking pretty sweet. I think these arms and shoulders are reused. I'm fairly certain about that. And then I love having this black wash over the blue. It just looks really good, man. I'm very, very pleased with that. We don't get that on the back of the figure at all, but, you know, the wrinkles look great. I wish Hasbro would put the paint on the back of the figure. It adds to it, man. It does. And then, yeah, legs, feet, everything look really good on this figure. And we get peg holes along with the serial information at the bottom of the feet. And we get peg holes along with the serial information at the bottom of the feet. So kind of like with Rogue, we kind of get a little bit more of a badass leadership role right here with Shadowcat, and I really did like Shadowcat from this series. This is a just much more interesting, stronger character, and yeah, you got to read the book, see what happens with Colossus and everything, and the character page, which I really like that character a lot. Hope they make a page Wave 3. If they do a Wave 3, I have a little splotch of paint right there. I don't know how much I like the facial expression over here. There's something with the top part of the mouth over there and the bags under the eyes. I don't know. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Invisible Woman figure that just recently came out. Do have a little bit of blue paint on the top right there. No color variation or anything like that. I'm looking at the back of the figure. But yeah, really dig the new stuff over here. Necklace looks really good. Nice looking necklace. And then you can see the belt right over there. And then the belt goes all the way around to the back, and yeah, you get a little bit of, I think, like runner marks right over here, and a little bit of the marbling in the plastic, but, geez, it's incredibly subtle with this. It's not even super shiny, so, but I am still seeing a little bit of that metallic fleck in the plastic over here. Mostly looks really good, man, and then you get peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So aside from the legs coming straight from Lady Deathstrike, everything else looks brand new over here, unless I'm mistaken. I really like this upper torso. Again, I mean, that back right there, I don't know, I just really like how that was sculpted. Great job. Anyway, you get a dumbbell joint where she can move her head upward that far, and she will move her head downward. You do get that garbage right there. That does bother me. Side-to-side motion, head pivoting, shoulders will move outward that much, inward, rotate a full 360. You get a single jointed elbow that does bend in very well, so that's not too bad at all, even though I prefer the double jointed elbows. Get rotation at the elbow, and then all the hands turn side to side, and they hinge up and down. You get the diaphragm cut that turns side to side. Good diaphragm pivoting, crunches forward only a tiny bit, back that much, and then we all know what's up with these legs, same as Lady Deathstrike. So here's looking at the helmeted Magneto head sculpt, and I love this character. This is my favorite character from this Age of Apocalypse storyline. Just very briefly, in this alternate reality, he knows of the 616 version, and he wants to avenge the death of Charles Xavier, and he is the protagonist of the storyline. He also has a relationship with Rogue, and he's able to create a magnetic field around his whole body so they can make Babby. And I just think this helmet looks fantastic, man. Really good looking head sculpt over here. Really do like how the eyes came out. Eyebrows look really good. Nice looking helmet. You can see the braids right over here with the metallic purple bands keeping everything together. There's a subtle wash over the gray, so I really like seeing that detail in there. That looks very cool. Then we get an alternate head. which also looks really good. I like the facial expression, the eyebrows, everything just looks fantastic. Again, the hair looks really good on this thing. I love that wash through the gray. Just really happy with that. And I like how this new cape looks. You know, you get those studs right there with the silver. The paint's not all the way thoroughly applied right there. So yeah, a little imperfection, but I do like the cape. You get the shoulder pads. They are attached to the cape right there. And you can see most of the body is all reused. I'll do some comparisons later on, but you can see the boots right over there looking pretty good. And he has the peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So the articulation on this Magneto is the same as the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Waves Magneto figure. The heads right here won't move up much at all. They all have, or they both have that super long hair. They will move down a little bit. And you do get some side-to-side motion. These braided tails right over here in the front, or these braids anyway, are going to get in the way. So that does make things a little complicated, or very complicated for sure. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I just really like the design. I'm willing to deal with it. The shoulders, you know, we get new shoulder pads connected to the cape right over here, so they move outward and can rotate forward that much and not back very far. Yeah, back in the day, I hated the idea of Sabertooth being a good guy, but yeah, I mean, the fact that he doesn't like hurting innocent people, and then he defected Apocalypse, so he was one of the Four Horsemen, and then betrayed Apocalypse, got his butt kicked by Nemesis or Holocaust, and then while imprisoned, that's how he met Wild Child, and the two of them have been a pair. They kind of have like this blood oath kind of thing, because Sabertooth beat the crap out of him, and I think it's kind of like a Chewbacca-Han Solo kind of relationship. I don't really know, but I do like this head sculpt. Both of them look fantastic. I love that smile. You get a little bit of that snaggle tooth. The 5 o'clock shadow looks great. No paint detail in the hair or anything. And then you get the nice looking ponytail. And then you get the band right over there. And then we get the angry head sculpt. And this head sculpt looks even cooler. Oh, I love the mean teeth and everything. Facial expression is just great. Eyes look fantastic and everything. Really like it. And I love having the posable ponytail. That's a really smart move. I really like this body and having the collar over here with all the dents, and all the studs are nicely painted with the gunmetal gray. Here's looking at the back of the figure. You get big old beefy arms with the hair sculpted in there. Really dig that a lot. Nice paint applications as well. A slight difference between the gray metal plastic that we're seeing right here compared to the gunmetal gray that we're seeing painted on the fists. I really do wish that looked a little bit more consistent. Plus you have the hinge showing over there. Then on this side, you can see that whole leathery detail and everything. You get that leathery detail on the belt. Man, the upper torso looks great. Really like the legs. I feel like this is all new. I could be totally mistaken. I'm going to do some size comparisons and clarify a little further in just a minute, but I really love the leathery detail you can see on those boots over there. That looks just freaking awesome. Really happy with that. You get some treads on the sides and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So here we have the Build-A-Figure Colossus, and this is a very different Colossus, a meaner Colossus, and a much more selfish Colossus. Going back to that character page, he was supposed to go back and get the rest of the mutants out of there, and, you know, since Liana, his sister, was rescued already, he kind of just let them go so that he can make sure to see Ileana Rasputin another day. Oh, so sad. But anyway, this figure's head sculpt looks great. I really love how the teeth came out on this. You can see the black gums right over there looking really good. I love the gunmetal gray and the plastic. The bandana over here looks really good. I really dig how this looks, and you get articulation so it rotates around and everything. It all very much reminds me of the artwork, so I'm happy to see that. And holy crap, this new body mold looks amazing. I really dig it. You get the added pieces right over here, and you want to make sure that, you know, the red goes over the right side strap and under the left side strap right there, because I did take this off just to see how it looked without any of this on here. Both the front and the back of this thing has an amazing sculpt on it. I just really dig it a lot, and I did throw on a classic Colossus head just to see how he would get, you know, a Mutant Massacre kind of look, but, you know, the head needs to be dremeled inward a little bit more for it to sit there properly. But going back to how it looks, you know, when you get it, I really like it. You get the belt right here, nice clean paint, and you can just remove it right there, and it tabs on pretty well. It will come apart on you, which can be frustrating, and this all wobbles around. That could be frustrating. I wish they had just a little bit more silver paint on these studs over here, because I do see red coming through, so wish that had just a little bit more paint on it. The back looks really good. Again, love the sculpted detail over here. The arms look just absolutely fantastic. Get the elbow pads right here with some nicks and everything sculpted in the forearms and stuff. We've seen the hands already. looking really good. And from the waist down, we get the shorts. I always feel like this right side, the right thigh plugs in right over here. It just, I don't know. I heated this up and everything. It just doesn't sit flush all the way. It's just like missing a little piece of plastic in the very front. So that irritates me for sure. However, looking at the side right over here, I mean, for the most part, this figure looks absolutely amazing. I'm very impressed with it. I do like it a lot. Just, man, you're not that cool of a Colossus, dude. You can move the head upward that far, and it will move downward that much. You get side-to-side motion and a little bit of head pivoting. You get rotation right here on the back of this bandana, and then the shoulders move outward at 90 degrees, which is great. They move inward just that far. You kind of want to shift them forward a little bit to move them inward just a little bit. But anyway, you can rotate a full 360. You do get the bicep swivel. We have double jointed elbows over here, but they will only bend it at around the 90-degree mark, and then all the hands turn side to side, and they hinge up and down. I guess the hands are kind of reused, rescaled, right? And without popping everything off here, let's see how much I can get this ab crunch moving. And yeah, moves all the way forward that much, and holding down the belt, it'll move back that far. You do get the waist cut, and then the hips move outward that much, and you can kick forward, and doesn't move back. You get an upper thigh cut. You can see this come apart over here. You do get the double jointed knees that do bend in very far, and then the ankles don't swivel side to side, but they do move down. They do shift very far upwards, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. It's actually not the most beautiful ankle pivot. It's just the way the pin is put in here. It's not like shifting side to side exactly the way I'd like it to. It kind of has a weird angle to it. So to measure out the figures from this wave, you can see the tallest figure over here is the Build-A-Figure Colossus, standing at around 8 inches tall, maybe a little bit less, and then the shortest one is the Shadow Cat, standing under the 6.5-inch mark. Oh yeah, and to rank these figures, which was very tricky to do because I really do like this wave, at the bottom I gave it to Cyclops, and I still like all of these figures, by the way, and then from there I'm giving it to Magneto. I love the character, but the figure itself is cool, just not a whole lot going on. Then I'm giving it to Legion, and then above him I'm giving it to the Iceman right over there. Love this Rogue figure, she's next, and then above Rogue I'm giving it to the Shadow Cat figure. Sabertooth is at the number 2 spot, and the number 1 spot goes to the Build-A-Figure Colossus. That thing just looks so freaking sick. Then here's all our Marvel Legends, X-Men, Age of Apocalypse figures, and I just had to get all of them side by side over here. Of course, I didn't bring out, the Toy Biz Sabertooth. Got a new one right there, but yeah, very, very cool roster. I would hope to see more characters from Hasbro, Gambit, Storm, there's a lot, Quicksilver, there's a whole ton of other X-Men I'd love to see them make. And then here's all of our Age of Apocalypse villains. We just added Legion over here to the roster, but still cool to see them all side by side like this, and we really mostly see Legion during Legion Quest, but still, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to see this. And just for some quick individual size comparisons, I wanted to compare the AOA Cyclops next to our Jim Lee Cyclops with jacket. Then here's our AOA Iceman next to the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Waves Iceman, and I've broken both hands on this figure trying to get, a whole custom X-Force version right over here, or X-Factor version, my bad. But yeah, if anyone has another one of these that they're down to sell for a reasonable price, let me know. I'll buy it off you. And then for a Magneto comparison, you can see we have the Family Matters 3-pack Magneto and the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Waves Magneto. Then for a Sabertooth comparison, you can see our 90s style Sabertooth, which is my favorite, and then we have the Toy Biz AOA Sabertooth right over there, which looks so tiny, but yes, I mean, man, Hasbro, please give us another Sabertooth with this body mold, right? Classic Sabertooth, or not classic, but this 90s style Jim Lee Sabertooth with this buck body right here would be sweet. And then for your Colossus comparison, we have our AOA Colossus next to the Juggernaut 2-pack Colossus. It'd be cool to see that kind of shine on this body mold. And then here's a whole wave of figures. Next to your average 6-inch scale figure, we have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. They call me a letdown. Look at you. You're supposed to go back, Colossus. What kind of hero is that, huh? You're supposed to go back. No! I'm walking out of here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to the channel by simply clicking that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and a big thanks to all the people that support this content via the Patreon and membership. If you're interested in a position to do so, check it out, link in the description below. And I really like this set of figures. I really like that Hasbro has really focused on these specific storylines like this, because you get all the characters from AOA and the Build-A-Figures from AOA, so you don't have to, hop across different waves waves or get a Build-A-Figure that you're not interested in, or buy a bunch of figures to get a Build-A-Figure you want, you know. So I really like how this worked out over here, and I really do like this set. It's a great set of figures. I have had a lot of fun with it, and I think they could make more. I don't know. What do you guys think? There are several characters that they could use to give us a Wave 3, so that would be pretty interesting to see. I'd like to know what you guys think. For me personally, I'm going to give this whole wave a Sun rating of...
I love it!
And again, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want to see a photo gallery of images and the latest in Marvel news, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.